Cavaliers Live is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. By the injury lawyers at Elkanell, proud partner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And by Ken Ganley Kia. I want to see ya in a Ken Ganley Kia. The Cavaliers improved to 35-6 on the season and 12-1 against the Western Conference as they take down the Timberwolves tonight, 124-117. Let's hear now from the winning head coach, Kenny Atkinson. His press conference is presented by Wayside.
Kenny, we talked about just your team responding before this game. How do you think your team responded out there tonight?
What a heck of a win. Great way to close out the road trip. Yeah, we responded. Donovan, obviously, 36 points, or but our bench too. Our bench was huge. I thought, we kind of broke it open there in the third quarter. It was just, it just came in bunches, and we knocked them out. They made a run at the end, obviously, but man, really proud of the guys. That's a heck of a win against just one of the top caliber teams in the league.
Regarding the bench, what stood out to you about specifically George and Ty and what they both gave you guys on both ends?
They just, it's seamless there when they get in the game. They play how we want to play. They're great connectors. They had super high IQ, and then they shoot the heck out of it. And then, on the defensive side, it's the same thing. They connect the defense. They're smart. They cause turnovers. But that was really the difference in the game when those guys came in, and we turned it in the third quarter. What Ty was plus 28. Guys having a heck of a year. Happy for him.
Kenny, Donovan has talked throughout the course of this year about taking on a slightly different role, but he says some nights, it's going to be going for 30. Tonight, when he's that aggressive from the opening tip, what does that do for your team? Yeah,
I mean, it's fresh in my right. The Indiana game, this game, he understands the moment. And I don't know what it was like in the past, but I think he reads the situation. He reads the game. Hey, this is the game. They need me to step up and be super, ultra aggressive. And I knew it right. We ran the first play for him tonight. He got that layup. It's like, here he goes. He's in attack mode. So in some games we don't need that, quite honestly. We need him to play facilitator and stabilizer, but he understands the moment, feels the moment. Tonight was one of those games, and again, against one of the best teams in the league.
The zone seemed to help you, especially early in that second quarter. Again, was the plan coming in to utilize the zone because you were missing Evan and Isaac, or
Yes.
was that a feel thing?
Yeah, sometimes you're shorthanded. I knew they were on a back-to-back. All that factors into it. We obviously look at their zone offense rating. We get all this information, and yeah, it bailed us out. Again tonight, I think we played 20 possessions. They're .86. And that's. But our guys are bought in, right? Like we're not just standing. We got zone slides. We got rules. They understand them. They're bought into it. Really. One of the big keys tonight.
George is somebody who has taken some criticism throughout the last couple of years. When you have him playing like this, coming off the bench, like what does that do for this group?
I don't know. I mean, what I love, I thought he was our best defensive player. J.A. was great too, but I thought George was our best defensive player. He switched. You can switch with him, and I knew that coming in, like that was something we were really going to promote with him, is him switching onto the ball, and he can really guard on the switches. He's got great physicality, but he's kind of that guy that makes the bench go, because of his ability to pass. Obviously makes timely threes, 40% three-point shooter, can pass the heck out of it, good cutter. But what I like, just go back like his defense this year. I just think he's been really good, and that keeps him on the court.
Anything else? Okay, thanks.
Our coaches are celebrating.
I know.
Well, the third quarter is really where the Cavaliers broke this one open, Booby. They outscored the Timberwolves by 10. They had 11 assists on 11 made field goals, pulled down 19 rebounds compared to 8 for Minnesota. And the third quarter has been the Achilles heel for the Cavs for most of the season. Why was it the opposite tonight?
That third can be tricky, right? It's like mentality. Both coaches go into the locker room and they try to motivate their teams to come out and play hard. And you kind of fall for kind of easing your way into the game sometimes in that third quarter. But that mentality to come out in attack mode, not give another team life, that says a lot about the growth of this team trying to continue to do that moving forward, because the third quarter is very important to closing out games.
Yeah, they ended that third quarter on an 8-0 run. Then they opened up the fourth quarter on a 10-0 run, an 18-0 run combined. Their second longest scoring run of the season. Pretty impressive. Cavaliers back to their winning ways tonight as they take down the Timberwolves 124-117. Jaron Allen had a battle on both ends tonight. He finished with 14. The Cavs finish up this road trip on a high note as they take down the Timberwolves tonight 124-117. Now back to Cleveland for a very busy week of basketball. Let's look at tonight's FanDuel's Make Every Moment More first basket odds, and the Cavaliers got the scoring going. It was Donovan Mitchell for 2. Jared Allen found him with a little give-and-go layup here. Donovan Mitchell, 2 of his 36 points. He was aggressive, as Kenny Atkinson described, knowing when to pick his moments. Let's revisit now our same-game parlay. We did pretty good, except for the Cavaliers winning the first quarter. Unfortunately, the Timberwolves did take that 32-29. The Cavaliers held Anthony Edwards under the 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He finished with 28, 5, and 3. And Donovan Mitchell, again, going over that 23.5 points. He finished with 36. And Booby, obviously, it's a good sign when Donovan Mitchell gets going early. He had 22 points at the half. He can totally change the outlook for this team if he's hot.
Absolutely. He blamed it on the lady in the elevator, but I'm looking at this thing on the screen, and I'm seeing Anthony Edwards knowing that these are the two premier two guards in the league, and I'm sure he took that challenge on, knowing I got to come out tonight in attack mode, ready to let my teammates know and let them know that we mean business tonight. So Donovan was Spider all night long.
Yeah, he certainly delivered in a big way, and the Cavaliers back in that win column. Hey, more to come here on Cavaliers Live. Cavs taking down the Timberwolves by 7. We'll head inside the locker room next. Cavaliers Live is brought to you by Wayside Furniture in Akron. Choose local, choose legacy, choose Wayside in Akron. The Cavaliers are now 35-6 at the midway point of the season after taking down the Timberwolves tonight 124-117. Let's head back to Minnesota now and hear more from George Niang.
George, what did you make of the way just this team came out and responded here tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. You know, obviously playing a Minnesota team that has a lot of weapons. They could do a lot of different things. They offer a lot of different positional challenges, especially with, you know, one of our big guns, Evan Mobley, out. I thought it was awesome how he responded, especially after the performance in Oklahoma City.
Double-double for you.
Yeah.
Kenny said after this game, like, you were the best defensive player out there. You just make.
He said that?
He did.
About me?
He did.
You heard him. Yeah. Well, I take pride on that end, and it's definitely something that, you know, with him coming in here and pushing us to be better in all aspects is something that I, you know, continue to strive at, and I feel like I've continued to get better because of him, you know, and working with DeMar Carroll every day, whether it's on scouting reports or tendencies of guys that I'm guarding. They've helped me tremendously.
Darius and Donovan also both shouted you out. Do you find it's like your bench role is really just to make the bench go?
Yeah, you know, whatever I'm asked to do. Obviously, you know, I'm a believer in myself and what I can do, but you also have to be able to be humble enough to sacrifice and give into a role that, you know, best fits the team. And that's what I try to do night in and night out. Energy is always something that I feel fits my role, whether someone's in or out or still in the lineup. But, you know, whenever you're asked to do different things or wear different hats, you want to answer that bell, because at the end of the day, winning is the only thing that matters. And I think we talked about it. We're halfway through the season, and you want to say midterm grade. Chris, you'll be the guy to determine what we get for that, right? You do those kind of articles and stuff. But, you know, I think it's huge for us to get out and continue to grow and get better, and I think we did that through the first 41 games.
You mentioned the pride that you take on the defensive end of the floor. So what does it mean to like get that level of recognition for what you've been doing that way?
I mean, it's awesome, but I mean, like we play on Sunday, so or Monday, so it's awesome. It feels good. It's great, but you got to continue to grow and keep improving. And I think that's kind of a mentality that Kenny's kind of brought in. Is like, yeah, it's awesome. I'm going to give you your flowers, but I'm going to expect you to continue to do it every night and do it more and continue to grow and continue to get better.
This is the halfway point of the season. What stands out to you about what you guys have done to this point so far?
Just like people talk about us winning and like the record, and that has never been like something that any of us in our locker room ever have really cared about, right? And I think it's been just us focusing on being a little bit better every single day, continuing to grow, continuing to find ways that we can be better, so that we're the best we can be in May, June, because a championship is what we're striving for.
What is the focus? How do you take those steps to get to that point?
Taking every game as serious as possible. It's not about the other team, it's about us. And focusing on the little things that we know, I think, as a team that, are going to bring us to the top in the playoffs, whether if it's switching 1 through 5, whether if it's getting the right, sets so that we can get the right ball movement to score, getting the right matchup. So I think all that kind of combines into, growing and getting better.
There's no doubt that this team has taken every game seriously so far. That is why they sit atop the NBA standings, and in particular the Eastern Conference standings. They built some equity tonight with the Boston Celtics losing to the Atlanta Hawks in overtime, and obviously the Cavaliers securing another victory. Now 6.5 games above that number 2 seed. And Boobie, I know it's early, it is the midway point of the season, but to have this type of lead between 1 and 2, it can be important, especially when you come down the stretch of a regular season.
Absolutely. I say we got the best fans in the world, so you want to make sure you keep that lead and extend that lead. So when it comes that time, you have that home court advantage. But like George said, I don't think these guys are worried about the wins at all. They're worried about getting better each day, each guy finding their groove, finding what he can do to make the team better as a whole. And I just think that we just want to keep improving game by game, and we're doing it.
Well, they've got another opportunity coming up on Monday, another test for this team against the Western Conference as they welcome in the Phoenix Suns. Our pregame coverage starts at 3. Boobie, what type of challenge does Phoenix present for the Cavaliers?
Ooh, they got one player over there I know. That Kevin Durant is a handful. Just like George said, it's the next game, next man up. Guys got to be ready to play, and we played well tonight. We'll have to be ready to play even better come Monday.
The Cavaliers handled this road trip again. They went 2-1, Boobie. Now that they have a chance to go back home for one game before heading back on the road for 2, how important is it to take care of business when you're there at Rocket Mortgage Field?
Oh, yeah, we love a little home cooking. You get everybody plays better. You got the fans behind you. You can get recharged before you go back out there on the road. You get your own bed and everything. So I think the guys will be looking forward to coming home and doing their thing on the home floor in front of these great fans who are going to vote for our Cavs, right?
Oh, yes, they're going to vote because Monday is the last day to vote. So get out there and vote for the Cavs. VoteCavs.com. Send this core forward to the All-Star game. That's going to do it for Cavs Live. We're back in action on Monday when the Cavs welcome in the Phoenix Suns. Our pregame coverage starts at 3 with a 3:30 tip-off. For Boobie Gibson and our entire crew, I'm Kaylee Griffin. We'll see you Monday.